Darkest Hour is a 2017 political drama directed by Joe Wright, known for his work with Atonement, Pan, and Pride and Prejudice. The film stars Gary Oldman in unrecognizable prosthetics as Winston Churchill, the flawed and potent chariot driver of a war-ridden Great Britain. Supporting staff includes the ever-marvelous Lily James in her second wonderfully acted side role of the year, and longtime actress Kristen Scott Thomas as Churchill's ferocious but lovable wife, Clemmy. Darkest Hour hits the ground running in what feels like an impending doom scenario where we're given a war-torn Great Britain during the darkest hours of World War II. In the spring of 1940, Germany is advancing on British troops in France and pushing them towards the beach of Dunkirk, and the current Prime Minister, Neville Chamberlain, has failed to guide or prepare the country for their involvement. Immediately, a call to arms is had to replace the Prime Minister, and without too much to do, we are given a grouchy, flawed, and aggressive Churchill as a replacement. Support is fleeting for Churchill among Parliament, and while his belief that Hitler is a child and must be strongly opposed obviously ends up being accurate, he must fight an uphill battle against a government that seeks a peace treaty with the tyrant. Churchill is depicted as stoic and unwavering as we have come to know him through history lessons. However, Oldman does provide a little bit more insight into the character and provides an in-depth analysis of Churchill's humanity. More giving than Churchill himself, we have Kristen Scott Thomas's character, Clemmy, whose actions and words speak volumes of Churchill's insecurities, fallacies, and shortcomings. Lily James portrays Elizabeth Layton, secretary to Mr. Churchill, and thusly also provides the audience with some strong insights into the humanity behind Churchill and all his decision-making. Joe Wright pulls out all of his directorial stops in Darkest Hour, showcasing his signature elements, whether that be his tracking shot or his obsessive use of time as a narrative device. We are continually shown a ticker of the date. This sort of gives a feeling of impending doom, and it reminds the audience that all of this takes place in a very, very, very concise amount of time. Joe Wright is also known for his pan shots, the tracking device used in many of his films. In Atonement, we are seeing the 7-minute scene in Dunkirk on the beaches, where now concurrently he's able to show us the bleak and damp Britain and Parliament, where we open with a scene that dives deep down for a long pan shot showing the dark, dimly lit Parliament that sort of also encapsulates metaphorically the darkest hour. And I think that a lot of that is stylistically made to show us that this is such a dark time in Britain's history, and really bleak and sad and foreboding. Ben Mendelsohn, most recently remembered as Director Krennic in Rogue One, portrays a fantastic King George IV here, second only to Colin Firth's performance in The King's Speech, in my opinion. Spot on with his speech impediment and quiver as the nerve-ridden king, advising Churchill that he's not well-liked or supported, but ultimately trusting in his decision-making. Gary Oldman is leading a tenacious pack of actors as the frontrunner for this year's Best Actor nomination, and the reasoning really is obvious. The film lacks a lot in plot and context development. The shining star is Oldman's Churchill. A particularly fictional subway scene almost takes you out of the film entirely, and it doesn't really sit well with a lot of audience members right now. It does very little to revive what is fairly a sparse tale. The film primarily functions as a vehicle for Oldman's Churchill. It does a great job of doing this, and this is one of the best performances of the year in my opinion. For some, this will be enough to put Darkest Hour in their top 5 of the year. The performances are unbelievable. This is a well-placed historical drama in a year where the market seems to be satiated and oversaturated with a lot of really delicious World War II history films. And this film provides a perfect backdrop for Nolan's blockbuster of the summer, Dunkirk. Not in my top 5 or really even 10 of the year personally, but that's just because I don't happen to be a huge war buff. However, I can see this film being probably number 2 or number 1 for anybody who has a deep understanding and passion for war history. That's it for me, guys. Those are my thoughts on Darkest Hour. Please comment down below. Let me know if you were fortunate enough to catch Darkest Hour this holiday season. My name is George. I do movie reviews weekly, as often as I possibly can. I love sharing my thoughts with you, and I love it when you share your thoughts back with me. Hit thumbs up down below, share this video with your friends, and be sure to hit subscribe for all the freshest content coming off of my brown couch. I will see you guys next time. Take care.